Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am sitting down for my first kind of chatty YouTube video in 2020. I was trying to decide what I was going to do this year, what kind of style videos, what topics, stuff like that. And obviously like New York is a big topic, but something that I kind of have been meaning to talk about for a while but I haven't yet is dating here. I spoke about it in November and I meant to kind of talk about it, but I go through phases of like feeling okay talking about it and then being like shy and being like I don't want everybody to know this, or I don't know, like I obviously don't want people that I'm dating to watch, so hopefully they don't watch, hopefully my family don't watch, but chances are when it's out there, you know. But at the same time, like there's nothing to be ashamed about. I'm not doing anything wrong, and like it's good to talk about it. I just think that I always feel better when I talk to like my friends about it. Sorry if you can hear Cooper walking around. He can't, I just got a new bed, which is why I'm sitting here, and he can't jump up on this bed, so I'll probably pick him up in a minute. But anyway, yeah, I just feel better when I'm able to talk to my friends about it and able to talk to other people about it. I'm gonna have to pick him up. So Cooper's here now. His little collar, he makes a little jingle when he walks. It's very distracting. So I just feel better basically when I can talk about it. When you're open about it, I think the more you're open about it, the more we can all like learn from each other. And like I'm definitely not like an expert. Don't think anyone is really. But I just wanted to share kind of my experiences, other people's stories, stuff like that. We'll see how this video goes. I just did a little kind of Q&A on my Instagram, and I guess we'll see what people want me to cover. I haven't even really looked yet. And then like I can probably make a few videos out of it. I'll probably know better how to kind of narrow it down next time, but I just wanted to keep it kind of broad, I guess, to start off with, and to cover whatever questions that you have. Okay, let me find this Q&A. Okay, anyway, before I get started, let me just say that I actually do like being single. It's obviously a big adjustment, especially if you have been in relationships. I've been in relationships for so long. Like this is the longest I've actually ever been single, apart from like when I was like younger. But it's really good, and I think it's really important, and I feel like you have to learn to be like good at being single before you can be in a relationship and be like really happy in yourself in that relationship, if that makes sense. So I am really enjoying being single, but like obviously there's hard parts to it, and I think one of those hard parts is not really being able to openly talk about the hard parts of it. So let's just do that here. Well, there's actually loads. Whoa. Okay, the first one. How many people have you dated? I actually don't know. Like for ages I had never dated. Like when I was in my first relationship, actually let me just give you a brief overview of my dating history. So I've had like 2 serious boyfriends, 3 maybe. Or 3 around the year mark, I guess. So one was when I was in like 6th year, was nearly a year, and then when I was in second year college, 4.5 years I was with somebody. When I was here the last time, I was in New York the last time, I did long distance for a year with him, and then when I moved home I was in a relationship for 2.5 years, and now I've been single for like 1.5 years. That's kind of my history. So how many people have I dated? Like I didn't date many people in Ireland, but since I've moved here I've dated like a good bit. Like I've gone on a good few first dates, and I don't love dating. Like dating is not that fun. I don't know. I just personally, because I feel like I don't meet that many people like out and about, especially like a lot of people meet at work. I'm not really gonna meet people in my work because it's mainly like girls that I work with. There's like, I don't know, I just don't meet that many guys in my industry that I would see myself like being with or anything. So mainly it's like apps or like through friends to meet people, but I'm still getting to know people over here, so I haven't met that many people through friends, if that makes sense. I feel like the dates you go on from dating apps, I don't know if I love them. Like I met my last boyfriend on a dating app, and like they are great for meeting people, especially if you have no other way of meeting them. But I just find like a lot of the first dates I've gone on, I just don't feel anything. And I don't know, maybe I just haven't met anybody that I'm supposed to feel anything with. But like I just feel like it's very formal. You're asking all these questions, you're really trying to get to know somebody, and it almost feels like forced, and you basically just met up with them because you matched with them, like their pictures, the way they present themselves online, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I love that part of online dating. Like, I'd love just to meet someone and for it to be like natural, and yeah, but sure, everyone wants that, and it's just not that way anymore. A lot of people are asking me, what is it like dating in Ireland versus dating here in America? People are definitely way more forward. I'm actually missing The Bachelor, that program, to record this video, and I just wanted to get this video out of the way tonight while I still was like feeling it, because I do definitely go on and off the idea of talking about this stuff, because there's no structure to it. There's definitely, I have to factor in that I could overshare, or I could put myself in a place where I'm sharing too much personal stuff, and I don't really know, like I'm still figuring it out as well. So it's kind of the last thing I want to be like, I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, dating Irish people versus dating American people. Definitely way more forward. I've had more people like come up to me like on the street and stuff here, but maybe not anybody that I've dated, do you know, that kind of way. Not anyone that I've like actually wanted to date, if that makes sense. I find that in Ireland, when I went on dates with people, it felt a little bit more like they were looking for something potentially long term. Like, they kind of took the date quite seriously, and they, you know, talked to you before and talked to you afterwards. Here it's all very quick, it's flaky, it's they do it, you can tell people are going on lots of dates. I feel like I've even quickly picked up the New York attitude to dating. Like, I've made some plans for dates and then like, oh, I'm actually too busy, I'm gonna have to cancel, or like rescheduling at the last minute. Like, that was just not really, it's not really something I do even with my friends that often. Like, if I make plans, I usually stick to them. But then I suppose when you're dating, you kind of learn like you can't keep prioritizing these like first dates with strangers that probably aren't going to go anywhere, if that makes sense. I don't know. Usually first dates are drinks here, but I'm doing dry January at the moment, so I've gone on like a few sober dates, I'm calling them. So I went for a chocolate, I went for dinner, and I actually think I prefer dating without alcohol, because that's kind of what put me off dating last year. Was I didn't want to keep going out and like drinking and just being unhealthy and being tired the next day for the sake of something that was going nowhere. And then even like when you're drinking, I just feel like sometimes after a few drinks you kind of loosen up a lot more, and not that that's a bad thing, but like you should be able to have a conversation with somebody that's potentially, I don't know, someone that you really like. You should be able to have that without alcohol, and you should be able to have the fun there without alcohol. And if you can't, then sure, maybe it's not a good place to start, if that makes sense. Anyway, so how many people have I dated? Oh god, I don't know. I actually don't know. A lot since, no wait, no, not a lot. Less than, probably around, I've probably gone on around 10 first dates since I've moved here in September, which actually kind of is a lot. But it's my first time properly dating, so I'd say in my life I've dated less than 20 people. But I've literally only gone on 1 second date, or 2 maybe, or 3. Yeah, so like there's not that much longevity with the dating that I've been doing. There was a good few questions. Why did your last relationship end? I don't really, like, I'm not going to get into anything like that. That's not really anything to do with me dating now and me being single. Any of the relationships that I've been in, they haven't worked out because they just obviously weren't meant to be. And like, they all definitely, I don't regret any of them. And I'm really glad that I learned so much from them. I learned so much about myself, and I feel like, even though I'm like, oh god, all these dates are so pointless, this time for me being single, I know that it's like actually really important for me, because even up until like the end of last year, like I just feel like I wasn't totally comfortable by myself, and I'm still actually learning that, but I feel way better already. Like, I just feel like I'm happy in myself, I'm like proud of myself, and at the end of the day I'd rather be single than be in a relationship that's not right. I really would, because like most people have been there. Like, if you've been through a breakup, you've been there where like the relationship isn't right, and think about like how unhappy you are, at least you're not that unhappy when you're single, you know, and you can kind of make life what you want it to be. But anyway, I'll get into that a bit later when I read some of the questions. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you on a date? Let's just get straight into it. When I first moved here, it was one of the first dates that I went on when I moved. I met this guy. He was very different than the way he looked in his online dating profile. He was like, I'm not really going to get into it, but he was 2 inches shorter to start off with. And then he told me that everybody lied about their height. And I was like, do they? Anyway, the conversation was really weird. Looking back, I don't know, he was totally like sober. We met for drinks, and then he got like mac and cheese to himself. The date wasn't even an hour, but this is always the way dates go. After half an hour, I know whether I'm interested or not. And this was one of those dates that after half an hour, it felt like 3 hours. I was like, oh my god, when is this date going to end? But beforehand, we had been texting saying we were going to go to a karaoke bar. I don't know why, but you know, so I like just making conversation. And then the bill came, he paid. Well, I had offered to split, but he had got the mac and cheese, so I kind of didn't fight him too much when he said he'd get the bill. I was like, okay. I went to the bathroom and I was texting my friend in the bathroom being like, oh my god, I really don't want to go anywhere else with this guy, like what do I do? I went back out, he was gone. He'd paid the bill and he left. I checked to make sure he paid the bill. I was like, oh my god, is he after doing like dining and dashing? But I sat down, I was like, is he gone? And then I waited a few minutes, I was like, maybe he's in the bathroom. And I was like, maybe he's outside. And I was like, no, just wait here. And then I just texted him, I was like, did you leave? And he texted me back, yeah, did you not? And I was like, oh my god. Cause it was so funny because I was in the bathroom being like, how do we get out of this? And he kind of did me a favor. But luckily it was like close to my apartment, so I just walked home and laughed about it because it definitely wasn't a match, and he must have got the vibes that it wasn't a match. So it was pretty funny. Have you ever been ghosted? Yeah, I think everybody probably has at some stage, unless you're in a relationship or unless you don't date very often. I think it's something that maybe 1 in every 2 people do. I'm not really like a ghoster, I like to say. If I've met somebody, if I've been on a date with you, if I don't feel it, I'll just let you know. I just think it's nicer than leaving people wondering like, what did I do wrong or blah blah. Even though I know sometimes it's easier just to avoid the awkwardness and just to not say anything. Just different people do different things, I guess. Someone said, how long do you think you should wait after a breakup to get into a new relationship? I don't know, like I think it's different for everybody. Like the last time, after my second last relationship, I met somebody pretty soon afterwards, but I felt like totally fine, you know. It felt right at the time. And then now I've been single for 1.5 years, but I'm also a little bit older. I kind of don't want to rush into something if it's not right. And like then I also have things that I want to do in my life, so I don't know, it gets more complicated I think as you get older, and people are less likely to jump into something, I think. But they say, like people say it takes half the length of the time of your previous relationship to really get over it, and I do kind of believe that. Like I think, you know, you have time to like, whether it was the good ending or a bad ending, you still have to like grieve the end of the relationship, and then you have to kind of get used to being by yourself and being happy by yourself, because you can't just constantly rely on people. I just don't think that's a good way to live your life, because you just never know what will happen in life. And like, even if you meet the most perfect person in the world, like you just don't know what will happen. You have to be okay by yourself. Tips on casual dating. I've never been on a date with somebody from an app. It gives me anxiety. Just don't overthink it. I think just go in, be confident. Like sometimes I have to just say that to myself, just be yourself, like you've nothing to be scared of, or like, and I think that's why people like have a drink before a date. But like now that I've been going on dates, like, you know, without I don't know, the crutch of having a drink, you realize it's just the same as meeting somebody for a coffee, which I know if you don't do that very often, it's probably more scary. I meet people a lot for work, and I have no problem having lunch with someone or having a coffee with somebody when it's work. So why should it be any different when it's a date? Like, you either, you know, you're not going to start off with anything heavy on a date. You're going to have like a general conversation, and I suppose if it is a conversation that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe that's just not a good date. Maybe it's just not the right person for you. So I think to go in there, okay, definitely to have some like questions prepared, like usual questions that happen on dates. What do you do? Where do you live? Where are you from? Where did you live before that? Like, this is why first date's so boring. Brothers and sisters, stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. Usually you don't get into anything too like heavy on a first date, but I have had very intense first dates as well. I was on a date with a guy once, and literally within 15 minutes of the date he was asking me, he was telling me what his number was, and all this, and I was like, okay. Let me see. How to actually find like-minded people other than online dating. I mean, if I had figured that one out, I probably wouldn't be single, but I think like through friends, like if you have mutual friends that have the same interests and like beliefs and stuff like that, then that's a good way to judge them. And then also, like, if you have friends who know them, they can kind of rule out a lot of things that you wouldn't look for in someone, because they know that you would just not like that. Have you gone on Tinder dates? Okay, so let me talk about the apps that I've tried. Years ago I was on Bumble at home. I liked it, but it's kind of like a lot of effort to always have to write to somebody first. I was on Tinder years ago again. That's actually where I met my last boyfriend. I was on it here, but I just find there's too many people on it. Like, you just end up swiping, and then like swiping too quickly, or like it really takes like a lot of concentration. I was on this app Raya, which is only really in America. I think it's in Europe as well, but it's a smaller app. I don't know, like it was okay. I kind of liked it at the start because it was cool, it was smaller, but I don't know, everyone on there was a bit too artsy for me, I think. Like a bit too, I don't know, I felt like I just wanted somebody, I don't know, more normal, if that makes sense. I don't know. And then I'm on Hinge. That's the one I'm on at the moment, and that's in New York, and it's in London. I think it's just gone to Dublin, but I really like Hinge. It's, you know, you have like max 6 photos, I think, and you have to answer 3 questions, and there's loads of different questions you can answer. So let me just go into mine. Where is it? Okay, sorry, just thought I have a message. Okay, my answers are, so the question is, all that I ask, is that you, my simple pleasures, and then what I order for the table. And then there's loads of other stuff you can add, like your work. You know, you can add your height, which is like unreal about this app, because like realistically I don't want to date somebody who's smaller than me. I just don't really, unless I meet them and I really hit it off with them, I'm not seeking out somebody smaller than me. So I kind of, if they're 5'10", I'm like, no, because I'm 5'10", so 5'11" and above. And I think I've actually filtered it that way. And there's loads of stuff you can say, you can like show. I don't have that much visible, you know, I don't say my religious beliefs or my education or anything like that, just where I'm from, where I'm living, and my height and my age, and that's kind of it. And you can select drinking, smoking, drugs, all that stuff, so you can tell, you know, you can tell a lot about somebody by what they select to show. And then like the fact that people answer questions and they're all different, you get a sense of like if they're funny. And one of my things is, you know, all I ask is that you, so I literally wrote this on a Saturday night when I was out with my friends, and I've never changed it, because I'm like, I didn't overthink it at the time, and if I was to really overthink it, I just don't know what I'd write. So mine says, all I ask is that you make me laugh and be taller than me, lol. So making me laugh is like really important. So if someone writes back to me like, oh, I'm taller than you, but I'm not funny, I'm like, well then no, like absolutely not. Like, so people can either like your photo or reply to one of your answers, and then everybody has different answers, so you can kind of just get a sense for somebody by what they answer and the way they answer. You can tell if they're funny, you can tell if they're a bit notiony, or like if they think highly of themselves, or blah blah, you know, you can tell a lot. So that's why I like Hinge. And it's an app, they say it's made to be deleted, but yeah, I still have I did actually think about deleting it, and after my unsuccessful dates this year, I said to, who did I say it to? I said to one of the girls, I was like, I think I'm just done. I think I'm done with dating. And then I was chatting to one of my other single friends, which kind of encouraged me to do this video. And I was saying like how important it is to go on dates, because that you learn what you like. You learn very quickly what you like, and if you don't know what you like, then how are you supposed to know when you meet the right person? And also, I think sometimes when you're not dating and you're single, you almost start to feel a bit like sorry for yourself, like I'm not meeting anyone, I'm gonna be alone forever. At least like if you're dating, you know that you're alone because you're choosing to be alone. Because the people you're meeting aren't right. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of fun to date as well. Like if you're not gonna date when you're single, what are you gonna do? Just wait until you find somebody? And like that's the fun part of being single. Like obviously having time with your friends and being by yourself as well is really fun, but you have to kind of experience single life. Is it just me, or is it a lot of effort, hair, makeup, cost goes into dates and it's always a fail? Yeah, like it is such an effort, especially like I find in New York I'm so busy. Like I remember at home when I was going on dates, I had so much time to like think about what I was going to wear. Here I don't. Like I've gone on several dates and worn the same thing because I'm like, this is my date outfit. Sure, like probably not going to see them again. So one tip I've learned is, this is actually very bad and I've only done this once, you can slot a few into the same day. I did 2 on the same day there recently. That's handy, like you don't have to pick out 2 different outfits. You don't have to like do your hair twice, you know. You don't have to give up, like, I don't know. Yeah. Especially like I find when I'm going on sober dates, they're not as long as dates when you're going out for drinks. So it's possible. What was your best date? Some people ask me. I feel like the best date I've been on has probably just been with like one of my ex-boyfriends, because they know what you like and you're having a good time. But that doesn't really count, does it? Good first date? No, I just don't think I've had one. Although to be fair, it probably has involved having a few drinks and like having fun, but I don't know, like for myself when I'm working over here, I just can't keep doing that. It's tiring. How to cope with becoming single after spending years with one person. Okay, this is something I can talk about because I actually found that really, really hard. Like I've basically been in relationships for like, what's 4.5 plus 2.5? That's 7 years, 8 years I've been in, sorry, because there was another year as well. 8 years I've been in relationships and I'm 27. Like, so I'm very used to having someone there to talk to, text, to call, to make plans with, to go to the cinema with, to spend Saturday nights with, and I found that really hard, especially when I'm over here, because I don't have like my core group of friends, my routine, my family. So like, yeah, I just feel like I was just going out a lot to keep myself busy so I wasn't alone. Like even like midweek, just if there was someone nearby or something on, I'd go to it. And now this year I kind of made like a little pact to myself just to be okay with staying in by myself. Obviously it's easier now because I have Cooper here, but like I think you do need to be like excited to like be by yourself, and then you'll never, and then you know, hopefully you can meet somebody that will add to that and make your life better, and not you're not with them because you need them. And I feel like in relationships I've been in before, I have kind of like relied on people. So but anyway, sorry, how to get better at being by yourself. Like maybe just become familiar with what makes you happy. I feel like I had to re-familiarize myself with that after I came out of a relationship. I had to like learn again what made me happy and just do that, you know. Make plans with your friends, plan with your friends the same way that you would if you were in a relationship. Like even today I was texting the girls about we were going to do like a weekend away, and like anything that you would like about being in a relationship, anything that you miss about it, you can get that with your friends as well. Obviously not everything, but like, you know, the spending time with people part, you can actually. And I think one of the questions I saw earlier is like, what do you like or what do you miss about being in a relationship? That like, it's just the simple things like making plans and like having someone to cook breakfast with, stuff like that. But like I made brunch with the girls yesterday, we walked around the park all day. I'm planning a weekend away with the girls. Like, you know, we do a lot of like nice things together, and I have really good friends. I think that's the main thing. I feel like you don't feel as alone when you have really good friends, and to try and meet other single people as well, because it definitely can get very lonely, and you can feel like, oh my god, I'm never going to meet someone when you're surrounded by people in relationships. It's hard, I think, when you're in a relationship to totally understand. There's actually, I don't mean this like in a bitchy way, because some of my friends say it to me all the time, and I know it's probably true, and maybe I'll agree with them someday, but I just find it really like annoying and like a little bit condescending when people are like, you'll find someone when you stop looking. I'm like, I'm not looking, like I'm just dating because I'm single. I'm not looking, I don't know, like I don't necessarily want to be with everybody that I meet, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to learn what I like and to enjoy being single, and sometimes that's dating and sometimes that's not dating. I usually go through phases of it, but like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm not actively looking for somebody, if that makes sense. So if that's the case, then why haven't I found them yet? I don't know. Someone wrote, I'm not single, but I went on a Tinder date who booked a B&B before we went on the date. Oh god, that's not good. Someone said, do you think it's important to fancy somebody on the first date, or does it take longer sometimes? So this is what I was chatting to one of the girls about yesterday. Like I just feel nothing most of the time on first dates. I feel like awkward and like it's painful. And then that's one of the girls was saying that someone said to her, you have to like give it more of a shot, you have to go on 2 or 3 dates. But like, surely you know if there's something there. I think you do, like I think you know very quickly if there's something there. And then like sometimes like I've felt, oh maybe there isn't there, maybe they're okay, and then like they might not message me afterwards. So I don't know. I think if you're thinking, no, I'm not really feeling this, then just follow your gut and just don't waste your time, you know. But maybe that's the New York in me now, like swear to god, like there's just so much choice here. That's the one thing, like for every guy that I meet, I know there's 10 pretty similar guys on an app on my phone that I could meet tomorrow, which is like, it's just such a young city, there's so much choice that it makes people not take it seriously at all. Have you ever had to tell a friend their boyfriend is not right for them? No? Oh, actually, yeah, years ago. But people don't listen. Like, people have said that to me before about different people at different stages, and you don't listen until you learn yourself. All you can do is like be there for your friend, offer advice, maybe not always your opinion, but just be there, I think. Because the last thing you want is like a boy to come between you and your friend, and that's never happened with me and my friends, thank god. What is your type? I don't know, this is always such a hard question. I feel like I like somebody tall. I like someone funny, like that I think is funny. And other than that, I don't know, because I feel like all my past people have been very different. But ideally I'd like someone like really nice and caring and all of the above, all of the what we're all looking for. They're out there somewhere, I think. Would you be happier to be alone forever than to settle? Yeah, definitely. Like sometimes I joke and I'm like, oh man, I'm just gonna have to settle now, like at this stage. But honestly, like when you think about it, wouldn't you rather be happy and be alone and have like a really good group of friends and have a nice dog, and like than to be in a relationship that's making you unhappy, and to be in something that you can't even have hope, oh maybe I'll meet someone? Because if you're with someone, I mean, unless you're gonna like cheat on them, but like if you're with someone, you're with someone. I don't know, I think I'd just rather be single and live in hope that someday you'll meet the right person, you know. Like a lot of the questions are American men compared to Irish. I don't find dating them that different. Like I feel like even though the humor is, you know, I know we all say it's so different, I feel like if you meet someone you click with, you can actually have a laugh with them. You just gonna have to explain a little bit more, like about what you say, like slang terms, stuff like that. Someone said, do you have a rough timeline when you'd like to get married, have kids, etc.? No. I mean, I feel like I did when I was younger, but you're like, all you're basing that off is your parents. A lot of my friends now who are in serious relationships are getting engaged, and I feel like as I get older that you probably will feel that pressure, and like as I reach into my 30s and stuff, like I definitely want to have kids, like, so that is scary, and it's annoying that guys don't have that pressure, you know, because they don't have the body clock the same way we do. But like you can have kids up to like 45 now. I mean, I don't know if you could always, but I know people who've had kids at like 45, so not really in any rush. I feel like we're not living in a world anymore where you have to get married, so I feel like a lot of people will be single. You know, probably not everyone, not all my friends will probably get married, because what if they don't meet the right person, you know? I don't know, maybe that like people get married later. I feel like things are just changing. It's not going to be the same way as it always was, like everyone's going to be married in their 30s with kids. That's probably not the way things are going to be. Okay, someone said, is being single one of the main reasons why you moved to New York? No, I always wanted to move here, and I feel like things, I don't know, I feel like for me anyway, they've worked out the way they're supposed to be. Like I'm supposed to be here. I wouldn't be here if I was, actually, I don't know, I probably was going to end up here either way. I was planning on coming here either way. Someone said, would you want to get into a long-term relationship in New York if you're not sure how long you'll be over there? Yeah, I know. I don't really know. Like that's scary, because I feel like when I moved here I kind of thought I'll definitely be here forever. That was just like how excited I was. And now that I've been here, like I do love it here, and I think you can tell I love it here, but it is hard here as well, and I've been open about that, and like my family are at home and I'm really close with my family, and all my, like a lot of my best friends are at home, and then like choosing to be away forever, it's like a huge decision. So it's like, unless, that's why I'm not going to settle for somebody, because unless it's definitely the right person, you're giving up a lot, like, you know what I mean? You don't want to be sure this is the right person, you know what I mean? So I don't know, when I first moved I was kind of only like dating like Americans, or I don't know, I didn't really meet any Irish people, but there is like a huge Irish community out here too, so you just never know. Newly single, any tips for getting back out there? Yeah, just get on it, just do it. For me, I feel like at first it was easier, then I took a break for a while, and you just kind of have to do whatever, go with the flow, try and put yourself out there, because I don't know, I feel like sometimes if you don't, you can just feel a bit like on your own. So I think it's good to know what's out there, to try and meet people, to keep your options open, and like it's always good to be meeting new people, because then I feel like the more you meet people, the more you learn what you like, and you learn about dating, you learn about people. So, but do, like, if you need time, take the time. Like I felt like I in my year and a half being single, I've spent like a good bit of time dating, but like so much more time like reflecting on myself, spending time by myself, spending time with my friends, learning, traveling with them, focusing on work. That's like one of the great things about being single. Like I have freedom, I have time to myself, and anyone I know who's in a relationship now who really enjoyed being single, they say that they miss having their time to themselves. They love spending time by themselves, and I just knew for a while like that wasn't right with me. Like I just didn't enjoy it, and I feel like I'm learning to now. And living by myself was a huge challenge. I've never lived by myself before in a new city. Like it was huge and it was hard, but I feel like this is where I'm going to learn to really like enjoy being by myself. Let's talk about ghosting. Yeah, I've kind of touched on that already, but not a fan of ghosting. I just think to send a message, but I feel like I don't really need to tell you this. I feel like you probably know this. And then one of my friends like ghosts, like that's just her personality, like, you know. So I'm not going to tell her what to do, but I think just send a message. And if there's any guys watching, just send a message, just be decent. Like a date you wish you could have had on film because it was so unbelievably bad funny. Actually there was 2 years ago that were really bad. Just like the conversation of one of them was hilarious, like so funny, and then the other one, he brought me to meet his friends, and basically one of the girls that was there like started, or I was sitting beside his friend, and one of the girls that was there, I didn't know her, started like shouting at me, saying that I was trying to get on to his friend just because I was sitting beside him. Oh my god, yeah, that was a bad date. That was years ago though. when all your close friends are couples, how do you still fit in? I think just, honestly, as long as you're comfortable in yourself, you're fine. Like, laugh about it, make a joke out of it. You know, I think if they're good couples, if they're nice couples, it shouldn't make a difference that they're in relationships and you're single. It really shouldn't. Someone said, escape plan if the date goes bad, question mark. Oh, this is something I need to get better at. I'm just a really bad liar. So even when I was leaving an event recently, and this wasn't a date, like it was an event, I just wanted to go home, and the date was going on forever, so I was like, oh, I have to go home. They're like, oh, you're going to another event? I was like, yeah. They're like, what's the event? I was like, oh, well, it's not really an event. It's a meeting. And they're like, where is it? And I was like, so I'm just really bad at like that. But I did have my friend call, my roommate call me once to say she was locked out, but it wasn't a date I was on, it was like an awkward encounter. So that's an option. Your roommate's locked out. And now that I've Cooper here, it's always a good excuse to say I really have to go home and walk my dog. And always go on a date saying you have work early the next day, because otherwise you're in trouble. Someone said one date ended with me having to pay and then he proudly took the receipt to claim expenses. That's so bad. When it comes to like paying and stuff, I feel like this is always one that divides opinions. I'll always offer to split, and like sometimes I will. I don't usually offer to pay for the whole bill. Maybe that's bad of me. I think it depends on who it is. Like if it's somebody I've met a couple times, like I definitely would pay for the bill. Like, but if it's like a first date, I'd like if the guy paid, but I'm always gonna offer to split. But I just don't offer to pay for the first date, because usually it will have been the guy who's asked me out. And to be fair, if I was gonna ask someone on a first date, I mean, I would pay. I think if somebody invites you, they should offer to pay, or else split. So that's just my opinion. What do you think? Tips on staying positive while dating. If it's not a good date, it's a good story. And I just think about some of the funny date stories, like back in Dublin, the stories my roommates would tell me, and like, oh, the stories the girls wrote into the group, like I just live for them. I feel like if we all got together and wrote them all down, we'd have a serious book. It's just so funny, like you have to just laugh about it. And I think they're all life experiences. Like, you know, if you didn't have them, like when you meet the one, it's kind of just something funny to laugh about and look back on, I think. Someone said best way to get a guy's attention. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing everything wrong, because I personally think it's just better to just be yourself. If you're not gonna be yourself, you're fooling them and you in the long run anyway. So I just try and be myself, and sure, if they don't like me for that, then like it's just a waste of time. So as much as that is what gets me sometimes when I'm dating, like no matter what you do, if you're dating and somebody doesn't text you back, or you know, you're gonna feel self-conscious. And I think the more open you are and the more yourself you give, the more self-conscious the more things you have to be self-conscious about, because you're like, that was me, that was what they not like about me, or you know. But at the end of the day, you just have to know that that person just wasn't right. So yeah, I don't think there's any best way to get a guy's attention. I think the more comfortable and confident you are in yourself, that's probably the best way. But okay, I'm gonna finish on this one. I'm the only single one in my friend group. It can be so funny telling them the outrageous stories, but so lonely at the same time. 2 words, dick pic. Never do it, guys. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree, and I think all my friends would agree too. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna end this one here. It's really long, but hopefully it made some sort of sense, and hopefully from your comments and stuff, I'll get an idea for how you like this topic, and what I might do going forward, like how I'll narrow it down and stuff going forward, like what in particular you'd like to hear more about or see more of. I was thinking how funny it would be if I actually vlogged dates. Can you imagine, like whipped out my camera? Like, because literally, considering my track record with dating, I'm never going to see him again anyway, so like what difference does it make? Be good content. This is what I mean. I'm like, I'm not taking it seriously. I'm just like, I just want to make the most out of it. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing more about dating, and yeah, it was fun. It was an easy one to talk about, and hopefully it makes some of you feel like you're not alone in being single, and we can all enjoy it a bit more. Okay, good night guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.